Well, it's that time of the year again. Time to talk about Record Store Day. Hey everyone, it's Pirate, back again for another video, and this time we are talking about Record Store Day. The list has dropped, and I'm just going to go over kind of what's on my want list and my impressions for the list. If you want to take a look at the full list, I'll leave a link in the description below, but this is pretty much my favorite time of the year, and I would say this list is one of the best lists we've had in a very long time. There's a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to getting. I have my list right here. So if you see me looking kind of down to the right, I have my list. And every time the Record Store Day list comes out, I look at it initially, give it a little bit of time, revisit it about a month or so before the actual day, because there's always inevitably going to be changes. And every year, sometimes it grows, sometimes it's small, but this year there's quite a lot, and usually I have like I categorize based on kind of want 1 to 5, and this year there are 10 or so that I kind of want, and I'll be honest, it's really tough to kind of choose. So, I might sleep on it one day and switch it out. I might go different paths with this, but this is just my list kind of overall. A couple of things that I'm looking to get, but I was really, really excited. Plenty of soundtracks that came out this year. There's a lot of really good soundtracks, and I'm a soundtrack person, so whenever somebody says, ooh, soundtracks, I'm the opposite way. I absolutely love soundtracks. So kind of just go over kind of the things I'm interested in. First is My Chemical Romance's The Black Parade is Dead. Black Parade is one of my all-time favorite albums. It's easily in my handful of perfect 10 albums, and I think I did a video on it. If I haven't done a video on it, I will do one soon. If I ever get the gumption to talk about perfect 10 records, that would be one of them. The Crow original motion picture soundtrack, the Lost in Translation soundtrack, and I'm kind of going off of a couple of factors when it comes to my want list. The first being budgetary reasons, the second being the exclusivity. So usually Record Store Day, there are 3 categories. There's the Record Store Day exclusive, which is the ones that come out exclusively for Record Store Day, the limited run regional focus, which is inherent in the name, and the Record Store Day first. Usually I try to stay away from the Record Store Day first, but there are some that are kind of really cool for the Record Store Day first. So all those in that first category are kind of my A-list, and some the ones I'm about to go over right now are in my A-list. So The Black Parade is Dead is one of them. The Crow motion picture soundtrack, the Lost in Translation soundtrack, and then Green River live at the Tropicana 1984. For those not in the know, Green River is a whole bunch of artists that eventually went on to form a whole bunch of Seattle bands. So you have like guys like, there's Stone Gossard, Mark Arm is on there, Alex Vincent, and Steve Turner. I'm also kind of looking it up. Jeff Ament has been on there. So really, if you think about it, it predates Pearl Jam, it predates Mother Love Bone, it even predates Temple of the Dog. So, and really, it's just kind of like a mini supergroup. And apparently, from what I've been reading, and according to Bull Moose's video, it's a live from one of their archives. So I'm interested to hear that, especially because that's like a precursor to everything. And I'm interested to hear how kind of raw it was back then. It's out of 2000, so it should be relatively easy to pick up. They haven't put any quantities out for My Chem and the 2 soundtracks I'm looking to get so far. And what's really funny is when I was kind of making my speculations for Record Store Day, I really thought, wouldn't it be funny if Green River put something out? They're only one album, that the studio album that they came out with, so I was actually laughing because I correctly guessed that Green River was going to be on there. Another couple of highlights that I do have is 7 Mary 3's American Standard. This one's out of 600. It's a limited run. However, it's a limited run. I'm not necessarily worried about that because I have my Red Sun Rising record, and that was about out of 500, 600. I was easily able to get a copy. So who knows? That might actually be on my main list. It is a little expensive. Retail right now, they're looking at like 36 bucks, which is kind of That's why it's on my B list. My other B list is Billy Joel live at Carnegie Hall. I really love Billy Joel. This is a Record Store Day exclusive. The other one was limited run. And the next three are Record Store Day firsts. The Used live at Merida Vale, live at Easy Street, Pearl Jam. I gotta love Pearl Jam. And the Used was live again from Merida Vale. And then the next one, I keep tossing it between Yes and No, Yes and No. This is out of 1500. This is the Transformers Dark of the Moon soundtrack. And the main reason I want this is one of my favorite bands is Paramore. They're not represented on my wall that's behind me, but to my right is my stereo setup. And always to the top left of my stereo, I have a signed 12-inch from Paramore when I met them. They're a band that means a lot to me, and they have a song on that soundtrack called Monster. And the only way you're able to get Monster right now currently on a vinyl release is in their Singles Club box set, and that fetches $200+. So just to have that song means a lot. So really, even though it's Record Store Day first, it's kind of high on the list for me just because of that sentimental value. You know, I've kind of skipped on things here and there. It's just kind of like the sentimental value, this or that. And I've kind of regretted sometimes with the Record Store Day first. So that's kind of why it's on my B list, but not really. So I'll have to see what's there when I get there and kind of how I'm feeling. But those are kind of my main wants. But I'll go over just a couple of other ones that kind of caught my eye. There was the Hailstorm 7-inch that has Buzz and Chemical. And there is a unreleased track that didn't make it onto the vinyl release, and I'm gonna look it up because if I have the deluxe edition, normally on the vinyl release, sometimes lately Hailstorm has been known to include extra songs. So this one I might already have, so that's kind of why I put a little bit lower. We have the 3 LP set for Woodstock. We have it looked to be a picture disc from what I saw. Kelsea Ballerini has a 7-inch coming out that I'm kind of interested in. And then Green Day Woodstock Live 94. You know, it's interesting. This is the 50th year of Woodstock. They're talking about maybe rebirthing the festival. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out. So I was expecting, honestly, something Woodstock related to be on the Record Store Day list. A couple of other ones that just kind of caught my eye, to be very brief. Jeff Buckley, Emerson, Lake and Palmer had a live one. Self-titled Fleetwood Mac, there's an alternative version, so they've been putting out the alternative versions of their other things. I wonder if they did do an alternative Rumors. If I'm wrong, go ahead and correct me. Just let me know in the comments below. There's the soundtrack to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Greta Van Fleet from The Fires, Elton John Live from Moscow, and Soccer Mommy, and then just a couple of others to be very brief. The other two Transformers soundtracks caught my eye. Pink Floyd came out with their Saucer Full of Secrets on mono. Then we have Saxon, the Thunderbolt singles. This is a 4-inch, the 7-inch box set. I gotta call you guys out. How are you gonna charge $40 for 4 7-inches? That's a little pricey for me. And that was just kind of there. I'm wondering if Vinyl Collector James is going to get any of the Doctor Who releases. There's Galaxy 4 and Destiny of the Daleks. I was kind of interested in. We have one from Robert Plant, one from Sun O, one from the Struts. Looks like live acoustic sessions, but it's on a picture disc. If you're going to have an acoustic session, don't put it on a picture disc. It's a 10-inch picture disc for Mumford & Sons, and then we have 2 releases from Motorhead. Always got to look at Motorhead. And then the last ones, there's the Gorillaz. I'm looking at Howard Stern's Private Parts. I like soundtracks, even, just kind of overall. Fan Farlow is getting expanded edition for Reservoir. You have the score for the JJ Verse Star Trek, the Office Space soundtrack. Simply Sherman. It looks like Disney songs from the Sherman Brothers that kind of caught my eye. And lastly, the $100 Goo Goo Dolls box set. I'm definitely not picking that one up. I like the Goo Goo Dolls, but I don't need them at the moment. So if I was going to go completely, you know, ho-hum, that's kind of just at the way end of the spectrum when it comes to my kind of wants there. And not much else. I mean, I'll probably comb through it a couple more times. There's probably going to be something else that catches my eye here and there. My suggestion is, if you're first getting into Record Store Day, just to look at the list, make your own budget. Go in and look at the list and prioritize what you want. And then go to a website called Bull Moose. They are not a chain, but a small number of stores up in the New England states. And they post on their main website all the prices for the Record Store Day releases. So when it comes time to kind of look at how much you're going to be spending, go check the Bull Moose website beforehand. It's usually up the day that the list drops, and they usually update it as time goes along. So I highly recommend doing that, and check that website to kind of get your prices. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I don't see anything else on my list that I didn't cover. Oh, one more. Oh, I found it. The Police. Yeah, there was another one by Message in a Bottle. It was a 7-inch set that was kind of interesting to me. So that about wraps it up for my pre-Record Store Day video. I tried to do just something very short at the beginning. Thank you so very much for watching. And leave a comment down below if you're getting anything, if you're interested in getting anything on the list. I'd like to hear what you have to say, what you're thinking. If you've already posted a video, I'm probably watching it by the time that this is up. But until then, as I say at the end of every single video, thank you so very much for watching. And when the waters get rough, please, please keep on sailing. Even if you feel like no one believes in you, I believe in you. And one more time, thank you so very, very much for watching. And see you in the next video.